What's going on, guys? This is Rob, and if you're enjoying the content here on my channel, then make sure you hit the like button and make sure you hit subscribe so you can help decide what direction the content on my channel goes in the foreseeable future. Okay, so I was going through the comments for some of my videos on how to kill superheroes, and one of the things that I noticed is that a lot of you guys wanted me to make a video on Colossus. How do you kill Colossus? Rob, how do you kill Colossus? Well, we're gonna cover that in this video. Now, before we start, I will say it would be easy for us to be like, well, Magneto will just like seize control of Colossus while he's in his metal form and then like condense him down to the size of a tin can, but that would not be fun. That would be boring. So we are not gonna do that. That'd be the shortest video ever. How to kill superheroes. Magneto grabs Colossus while he's in his metal form and then just crushes him to death. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace. That would not be very fun. That would be kind of boring. So, like we always do with our videos on how to kill superheroes, we're going to provide a little bit of a brief overview for those people who are not familiar with the character of Colossus. Now, Colossus, also known as Piotr Rasputin, is basically a mutant that hails from the former Soviet Union, where he worked as a farmer before being recruited by Charles Xavier to join the X-Men in Giant Size X-Men issue number 1 in 1975. Now, I do have videos, or I have a video actually called Colossus Explained, where I just kind of run over his history, run over his powers, but the truth of the matter is that in response to the Avengers in the United States, the Soviet Union wanted their own team called the Winter Guard, and so they literally just went around the entire country and captured anybody who had superhuman powers with the intention of just brainwashing them. The kicker was that instead of Colossus allowing himself to be taken, Xavier showed up in the nick of time, and then he was whisked off to join the X-Men. But what I also want to talk about is what makes Colossus so difficult to kill. So Colossus' mutant powers basically grant him the ability to transform his skin into an organic metal steel that makes him virtually impervious to physical damage. Now, the reason why we say organic metal is because we don't really know exactly what it's composed of. There's theories where it's like iron or something else, but it seems to be unique wholly to him. Now, while in his organic metal form, Colossus possesses super strength and also does not require food, water, or oxygen to survive. Furthermore, when Colossus transforms into his steel form, he adds around 1 foot of height, bringing him to about 7 feet tall, and doubles his weight from 250 to 500 pounds. Now, in addition to strength, durability, and stature, Colossus is also an expert hand-to-hand combatant, having been trained by both Wolverine and Cyclops, as well as being trained in gymnastics by Nightcrawler, which kind of increases his agility to complement his superhuman strength. Now, in addition to all of this, throughout Colossus' lengthy history, we've seen him go toe-to-toe with some of the hardest hitters in Marvel Comics and come out unscathed. Some of these opponents include Juggernaut, She-Hulk, and the Blob. And in fact, when Colossus encounters World War Hulk, although we do end up seeing World War Hulk apply enough force to basically break Colossus's arms while he's in his metal form, Hulk does say that Colossus would make for an imposing challenge if it was not World Breaker Hulk and just regular Incredible Hulk, basically. Now, to get a sense of just how durable Colossus is, we can essentially look at some of the incredible feats and durability that he's displayed. For instance, he's taken several punches from opponents with super strength, like Gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire, Juggernaut, and World War Hulk himself. In each of these instances, Colossus is able to continue fighting through multiple blows before being incapacitated. However, he is ultimately defeated each time, but not before putting up a pretty respectable fight, and in none of these instances does he sustain any lasting physical damage. And so while it is possible to overcome his durability and injure him with a physical attack, the number of people who can actually do this can only really be counted on one hand. Now, if we assume that we don't possess the strength to kill Colossus in his armored form, it makes sense to shift our attention to ways that we can basically force him out of his armored form and into his normal human form. Now, while Colossus is still extremely strong by normal human standards in his normal human form, his durability is drastically reduced. And so what this does is basically remove the biggest obstacle in killing him. Now, one way we know of forcing Colossus out of his armored form is to expose him to vibranium. Now, for those of you guys who are not familiar with vibranium, it's basically the 4th strongest metal in the Marvel Universe, coming after the material that makes up Captain America's shield, true vibranium, and Uru metal, which is the material that makes up Thor's hammer. But there's actually 2 types of vibranium in the Marvel Universe. There's AntiMetal, or Antarctic vibranium, which vibrates at a wavelength that actually breaks the molecular bonds of other metals. And then there's Wakandan vibranium, which is able to absorb vibrations and kinetic energy. Now, in the 4th issue of a mini-series titled X-Men Spider-Man in 2008, we saw Colossus being attacked by a clone of Kraven the Hunter that was engineered by Mr. Sinister using the DNA of Kraven himself and the original X-Men. Now, the clone does attack Colossus with a blade that's simply described as being vibranium in nature, but due to the properties that the blade exhibits, we can infer that this is the antimetal form of Antarctic vibranium because it causes Colossus' skin to instinctively revert back to its human form from its armored form, which allows for Colossus to be cut by the blade itself. And so it seems like the easiest way to kill Colossus would simply be to acquire vibranium from the Antarctic region and then use it on Colossus. The problem is that this is exceedingly rare and very difficult to do. However, there is possibly another way to kill Colossus without having to confront his physical attributes at all by exploiting his emotional connections. One of the most consistent personality traits that we see in Colossus is his deep loyalty to those that he cares about, especially as it relates to two people, his younger sister Ilyana Rasputin, also known as Magic, and his former girlfriend Kitty Pryde. Historically, throughout his publication history, Colossus cares so deeply for his sister and Kitty that if either of them are put in danger, he'll do whatever it takes to keep them from harm. And so if someone were able to place either of these two in a situation of imminent danger and then demand that Colossus revert back to his unarmored form, that may work, but it would have to be done in a way that he could be killed before having a chance to rescue either of them or defeat his captor. And so while this method may not be the most efficient way of killing him, it is possible. Something else to note here, though, is that Colossus has actually died in Marvel Comics. This was done in a story where he basically sacrificed his life by taking the cure for the legacy virus, a disease that went through and was basically killing mutants everywhere. Now, the reason why he did this is because a cure was developed by Beast, but the only way for the cure to go airborne and cure everybody who was infected with the legacy virus was for a mutant to take it and then die, allowing the cure to go airborne. And so because of this, Colossus basically was killed off. Now, he did come back in Astonishing X-Men. But with all that said, I have also read some statements during my research that Colossus, although resistant to extreme temperatures, can be vulnerable to extreme heating followed by rapid cooldown. But I have not been able to find any evidence to indicate this in comic book form. It doesn't mean that it's not out there, it simply means that I haven't been able to locate it. And so if any of you guys out there know or have a source that you can link me to verify that, then I'll go ahead and post that, or I guess I'll pin that in the comment section so everybody knows that that's a legitimate way to kill his character. But again, Colossus is a tough nut to crack. I mean, he's a tough guy. It's not easy to kill him because he is so incredibly durable. I mean, he's withstood tanks, he's withstood atomic explosions. I mean, he's a wildly difficult guy to kill. But again, his durability isn't limitless. I mean, his arms being broken, things like that. I mean, there was a story where Magneto basically forced him out of his metal form using his powers over magnetism. But again, Magneto seems like too easy of an answer for how to kill Colossus. I mean, that's the surefire way to kill him, just have Magneto kill him. But it's just too easy. I wanted to go for something a little more difficult here. But if you guys are new to Comics Explained, make sure you guys hit the sub button to become part of the Rob Corps. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like, and yeah, I will catch you all later. Peace.